Take what I want, even until front, cause I'm the Fuhrer. Holding it off 3 and 10, Czechoslovakian, yeah, one of them. It's in the creek, saying love creeks, Marine, place I surrendered. Getting through your head, what the Fuhrer said, not bloody lenders. Hate to say I told you so, say I'll. Blood and soil. You believe I told you so? That isn't just now, yo. It won't be salutes. Interjecting the base without lots to raise, that's not my problem. Gonna leave that living small way, we're outnumbered. Either way, I'll die inside a fucking bunker. Hate to say I told you so, see how blood and soil. You believe I told you so? I've been long without moderation, Barbarossa. Just like Napoleon, I shouldn't have gone into Russia. Only care about Harry and don't give a shit about the others. If it all goes wrong, we can go to Argentina or Gaza. Thank you once and thank you twice. I'll say out in my name, you know you wanna. What you talking about, man? I just say grab some cruise positions awkward. Say say
Okay, that was sorry. Fuck. That was the Heils. Apparently a new band from somewhere in Germany with Adolf Hitler on vocals, Hermann Göring on bass, Joseph Goebbels on drums, and Heinrich Himmler on guitar, made by the same people who made us the Bomb Iran video of Donald Trump from last week. I thought we would start by offending as many fucking people as we can to start the show. How's it going? Can we hear you?
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for being here. It's a Toxically Masculine Tuesday. We aim to offend, if at all possible, and I think we may have succeeded tonight. My name is Mike Bara. I'm your host in Las Vegas, Nevada. Joined tonight, as I always am, in the Hollywood Squares Roundtable. Let's start straight below me. Not beneath me, but below me in the Hollywood Squares. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to move you up here so I can introduce you. TV's Blake Wally. Blake, how are you doing tonight? What are you drinking? And he's the owner of the finest strip club in Nashville, Tennessee. TV's Blake Wally, the lickety split. How's things at the split tonight? And when are the girls getting there?
Greetings. Great to be here as always. Girls probably rolling in about 10 o'clock. So got another hour and a half or so. Get that little after party started. But I'm going to be drinking a little Larceny whiskey. I'm working on
Larceny. Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. Reich and Roll. Yeah, that's the name of the album. Is Reich and Roll. It's a fake MTV video. AI is fucking amazing, Brooks. Also joining me tonight from somewhere in the Carolinas are the smartest member of the band, Dr. Brooks Agnew. We should start a band. I wouldn't sing that song, but we should start a band. Brooks, how you doing tonight? What are you drinking, and how's everything going? He's on his phone tonight because of some complications. Why don't you tell everybody about that, Brooks? Brooks?
Uh-oh, you can't hear us.
Can you not hear it? Brooks can't hear us. All right. So while we wait for Brooks to pull everything together, let's go to the man in Nowhere Fuckville, Arkansas, the future governor of the state of Arkansas, Steve Doran, the Trail Boss. Steve, how you doing tonight? What are you drinking? And were you a good boy? Did you stay away from the sugar after last week's binge?
I stayed away from the Coke, so
Good
I've
for
just
you.
been drinking water all day. Nothing else.
Good for you. That's the hardest thing to do. How you doing tonight? How's everything going there in Arkansas?
Everything's going well. I'm a little disappointed with Blake Wally. I sent him some information to go find the portal that's opening up in Nashville. He has not done so. He has not acknowledged that he's going to go out and live on Totally Masculine Tuesday. Try attempt to pass through the portal while we all watch.
Well, I wonder what's at the other side of the portal.
I don't know, but we would find out. Blake would go find it and walk through it.
So wait a minute. This is this guy. This is from this retarded guy. What's his name? Is it Ross Coulthard, who told people that there's portals in different places around the United States? Is that what we're talking about, Steve? This guy who talked about portals?
I don't know. There was just a video of a guy that was in an alley in Nashville, and there's this like thing wafting around in front of him, and everybody's scared to go touch it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I
claim like 72
well, we know
people.
We know a guy who's right there. Who's right there.
Well, apparently 72 people have already tried and not come back.
Well, interesting. I also hear there's a time machine in Caesar's Palace in one of the elevators. You can go all the way back to 1967 if you want to. So that would be a really interesting thing. And you know, I knew a girl once who lives in Kentucky, Tennessee, who called her vajayjay a portal. She called it her portal. So maybe it's her portal everybody disappeared into. I don't know. Dr. Brooks Agnew, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
Nothing. I was just going to say that you were supposed to make a video in that hotel attempting to pass through the portal, and you never did either.
You have to do it at 2 a.m, apparently, between 2 and 4 a.m. And I, it's just hard for me to stay up that late anymore. So maybe I'll get a visitor in town and we'll stay up really late and try to go into the time machine. But the thing you have to wait by this elevator, and you have to wait for somebody to come out of the elevator and ask them how to use the time machine, because They only know because they just used it. All right, Dr. Brooks Agnew, how are things in the Carolinas? I think we're going to have some delays in sound tonight and stuff like that, so we're going to have some issues. But Brooks, how are you doing? What are you drinking, and how'd your day go?
Well, I'm doing okay. We had the tree service come out today and start ripping trees out and bushes out and stuff to finish, or at least begin our landscaping for the year. And they dug a little too deep and got my internet cable and ripped it in two. So that's why I'm on my phone tonight.
Jeez.
But other than that, I am doing just fine.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad you adapted and you decided to use your phone and your cellular data. So we'll try to keep the show to an hour if we can. Is that a fiber optic cable that you have? Or?
It is not a fiber optic cable. It's a 1 gig cable, but it's not fiber optic yet.
Okay, well, they're supposed to be putting fiber optic in here by the summer, so hopefully things will get better if I remain in Las Vegas. Laura, what can I say? That's what she called it. She called it her portal. I don't know. I mean, guys usually have names for their, I don't know if women do or not. But all right, the main thing we're starting with tonight is there was a controversy over there's a big controversy, I guess, right now over whether or not a missile that struck on the opening day of the Iran bombing that apparently hit a school or a place where the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, whatever they are, put a bunch of school children, was hit by a missile on the first day of the bombing. And the accusation is that it is the United States who bombed this particular place. But there are some videos and some conflicting information, and I thought we would go through that information and take a look. Here is a video taken from the ground in Tehran, Iran, a little more than a week ago. See it launched from inside Iran. It's out of control, and it goes ballistic. And boom. Now you can plainly see that this missile was launched from the ground in Tehran, and it breakout. Okay, now the thing is, does this match with new footage of the Iranian missile that other people have put out? And the answer is yes, it does. Let's watch. That's the actual strike. Note the lighting, the time of day. It appears to be exactly the same time. Okay, now other people have gone back and they have taken a look at the actual, done some frame grabs. And the claim is that this is a U.S. Tomahawk missile. Now, that, of course, implies that it was used by the United States. The reality, of course, is that lots of countries use the Tomahawk missile. And here's an example of the missile in Iran, and the Tomahawk missile. And while you can see they're similar, they're both cruise missiles, they are not exactly the same. And the end result of all this is that if we go down a little further, we have some footage. Now, various news organizations like the BBC have claimed that this is a U.S. missile, and a U.S. missile hit military base near Iran school. Video analysis shows. Let's watch that. Do I have it up on the screen? Yeah, let's watch that for a sec. I guess that's the same video. Okay, so let me go show you one other thing here. about this, so you can make a determination here. We're going to share this tab instead. Okay, so these are. Where did we lose Steve?
Yeah, down 2 guys. Oh,
There's Brooks. Hi, Brooks. These are examples of cruise missiles used by the Iranians, and they seem to fit that description exactly. So you combine the actual, you combine the footage of the missile being launched within Tehran and landing in Tehran, and you compare these shots that they have, and you pretty much get that it's pretty clear that it's, to me anyway, that it's an Iranian missile, not an American missile. Nevertheless, this has not stopped the left from trying to make a big deal out of this. And President Trump was asked about it at a press briefing today.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. You're the only person saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
President.
So, okay, so the situation that we have is, and just to clarify, yes, the Tomahawk is an old weapon. It is 20 or 30 years old, and it is, wow, this has got me so confused. It is, it's a 20 or 30-year-old weapon. It's been sold to many other countries. Many of them.
Can you guys hear Mike okay?
Can you guys not hear me?
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
I
Fine.
have no idea what's going on. I switched to my phone. I'm like, my computer's screwed up. My phone is screwed up. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. That's bad. You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I hear you perfectly. I just can't hear Mike.
The fuck?
No.
Edit mic settings.
I don't know if it's you, Mike. I can hear you fine.
Any better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I can hear me on somebody else's computer.
Okay, well, why don't you translate for Steve what I'm saying? So, the point is, Tomahawk missiles are old school. They are not anything new. They are similar to all other cruise missiles, including cruise missiles that the Iranians have manufactured and bought from other countries.
All right, I'm
And
going
it's
to try to
quite-
log on my computer one more time.
Okay,
Because
and it's quite easy for...
this isn't doing me any good at all.
Okay, it's quite easy for Tomahawks to fall into the hands of other countries, like Iran, but the evidence would suggest this is not a Tomahawk missile. Another aspect of this, which is really important, is that the bomb blast, when you see it go off, is very small, and the Iranian missiles carry a payload about half the size of the Tomahawk missiles, so it simply isn't a big enough detonation to be an American missile. So, Brooks, you're our big aerospace guy. Given everything that I've just thrown out there at you, what's your opinion on whether this is the Americans who bombed an Iranian school or the Iranians who shot their own crappy, shitty ordnance onto their own people?
Well, considering that they've had several accidents like this already, I would say it's an Iranian missile.
Okay, that's it. All right, Blake, you're kind of neutral in all this, and you're not a big aerospace guy, but what do you think about what I've presented so far?
Well, it was looking pretty bad there for a bit because America was under fire because it seemed like they were the culprit and everybody was saying,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell the difference, but I guess they slow it down. They can. There's a terrible accident. The optics are bad. They should be aiming obviously at military targets. Maybe it could be the Iranians, but I don't think anybody did it intentionally. Although if anybody was going to, it might be something out of the Israeli playbook because then when they bomb Gaza, every time it's a hospital or a school or a mosque, then they say, "Oh, it was Hamas headquarters underneath or what have you." But just really a terrible circumstance overall. I hope they can clear that out and do the investigation and apologize for whoever did it, because that's not how we conduct war here.
Well,
It's military, not civilian.
I'm just going to
There's a
tell
big
you.
echo there. There might be on Brooke.
Okay, it's my echo. Hang on. Mic settings. Okay.
No worries.
I had my echo cancellation up, hoping that we could get Steve to come in here. But I'm going to tell you something right now, Blake.
Yeah.
I am not going to let you get away with slandering Israel on the show.
Okay.
And there's
This
a reason
really could.
and there's a reason for that. There's an important geopolitical reason for that, and it's because of Israeli girl. So you just take your anti-Tittism and Semitism and just get it the hell out of it. Get it the hell out of this chat. Okay, that's why. This is why we support Israel on this show. I don't know.
There is no
We
anti-Semitism.
support boobs.
It's skepticism of Zionism. Just to be,
You're an anti-skeptic. Steve, did you see the reason why we are supporting Israel over Israel over?
What is going on?
This is why. Did you see why we're supporting Israel over Iran in this conflict, Steve? Did you see that or no? Would you like me to show you again why we're supporting the Israelis?
hope he could see that on his phone.
I don't think he can see. I don't think he can hear.
Yeah.
I can say anything I want to about Steve right now. So I'm going to say that. Steve is my hero. Steve is the most macho man I know. Are there any Israeli chicks in the lickety split, Blake? That's a good question.
No discrimination. I don't care what. As long as they perform and people like them, they're welcome here anytime.
I guess this is down to you and me. Let me add Brooks back to the stage. Brooks, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm back with you. I don't know why I keep losing sound.
This is going to be a struggle, but it is just the way it is. Today we're just having issues. Control Alt Deport. I like that. I like that sentiment. Look, I'm just going to clear this thing up and give it to you finally. The low yield of the warhead, the shape of the missile, and the fact that we actually have video of it having launched within Iran and then crashing about 2 miles away into the school, which is got to be the same footage of the missile that hits the school because it's the exact same time of day in the exact same location, region, and everything. I'm just going to tell you it's a misfired Iranian missile. And on top of that, a lot of people don't understand or remember or know the Iranians actually, believe it or not, are we okay?
I think Mike is kind of frozen. Your video is frozen. I can hear you.
It froze a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I was going to show you is that the Iranians actually admitted in an account that it was their missile. So that was way back a couple days ago. But I in all this confusion, I kind of lost track of my
fog of war. Well, at least somebody's standing up and
Well, yeah.
Accountability.
It was a misfired missile. It was a missile that went wrong. Well, it's really hard, Blake, to stand up for and take responsibility when you're all basically fucking dead because everybody it's like everybody who is in top is all dead. Khomeini is dead. His son is dead. The grandson is now, whoever was the next guy in line, is now said to be in the hospital. He's lost his legs. Somehow, Steve Doran, I don't think the new supreme leader lost his legs. I think somebody blew them off. It's what I think. He's in a coma. Every man in this picture is now dead thanks to American and Israeli bombing. So what I want to get on with here is how much longer can this situation go on? And that, of course, is the question. I'm trying to find the videos. Let me go back and read or show you President Trump's comments about this today, because there are people saying saying that it's not all adding up, but let me show you. I've got it here somewhere. Oh yeah, here's Thomas Massey. Let's go to Massey and listen to what Massey has to say first.
And it will send more swarms of refugees into Europe and the United States. Iran is not Venezuela. The Ayatollah was not a president. He was a religious leader from a region notorious for radical Islamists. And the United States and Israel turned him into a martyr. And in the process of doing so, we've already expended billions of dollars, and more solemnly, 6 American families must now later.
Oh no! Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute, Tom. We didn't turn him into a martyr. We turned him into mincemeat, and there's a significant difference there. So, Brooks, I got to ask you just quickly. The show is not flowing tonight. What do you think about the decapitation of the IRGC, and how much longer do you think it can possibly go on?
Well, that's a very good question. The more you take off the top, pretty soon you get to the middle, and then you get to the bottom. The issue is that a lot of the IRGC right now is running in what we call fail-safe mode. They haven't had a phone call, an email, a text message, nothing in a week. So they're just running the last order that they were given. Now, true that the number of missiles launched is down by 93%.
Yeah.
Mostly that's because we're blowing up the launchers as fast as they haul them out of the caves to use them. So I think it's only going to last about another week. But then what happens? What happens? How do you get the people of Persia, how do you get the Christians of Iran to rise up and fill in those positions in the Congress? That's the next question.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, we've lost Stephen again. Blake, let me ask you, what do you think about this situation? How long do you think the IRGC lasts? And a deeper moral question, should we be removing this government or not?
Oh, this could drag out a while because the people that Trump had in mind to take over are also dead. So at a certain level, they're also saying they have to approve of whoever is going to be nominated by their people. So they got a big mess. I hope maybe there's a way for them to split the country up into different sections, because it is a very massive country, and to kind of put it into where people can stick together, or maybe there's a Christian section or what have you, and the mullahs can be isolated somewhere else. I don't know how they're going to do this. It's always changing. So I think they had a certain intention in mind, but I don't know how they pull out. They're probably going to have to put boots on the ground at some point. I would like to be optimistic and think that this is going to be over soon, but this has not gone according to plan, and there have been some issues like this. So maybe Iran is not going to be able to attack with missiles, but it's a country of 90 million people. It's huge, and I just don't see them just rolling over. And it seems like maybe the people do support still their people in place, and they're not going to go with them. I don't know. It's very confusing. I wish we had never gotten involved, but now that we are, it seems like it could drag out longer than I'd like.
Yeah, it is a country of 90 million people, but 80% of them are not Islamists, if not more than that. They got enough people to put 1 million people in the streets with weapons. That's true, but they are the vast minority in this country. They've been running it for a long time. I'm kind of opposite of you. I'm glad we got involved, and I think it's time to remove this zit off the ass of the world that's been this Islamic regime. And I don't agree with you necessarily that we're going to need boots on the ground. It may yet come to that, but I think what we need to do is arm the Persians. Brooks, Blake is on one side, I'm on the other side. Where are you in all this?
Well, society goes through this cycle, mercy, peace, justice, war, mercy, peace, justice, war. And obviously we've entered the war phase in Iran because we could not get justice. And I think a great motivator of this was when the mullahs started gunning down their protesters in the streets. And when it got to about 30,000, Trump said, that's it, that's enough. We're not going to let this happen. So I think most of the Persians, most of the Kurds, most of the Christians that live in this, or Zoroastrians, they want to be free. They want to have democracy, or they want to have a republic. They actually do have a republic, and they want to get rid of the mullahs, but they have no way to do it on their own. They have no way to administer justice. So we're sliding in and providing the justice, and now what has to happen is at some point someone has to holler mercy and allow civilization to take place again. By the way, today they sunk 10 mine-laying ships of Iran.
Yeah, they don't have any left. It doesn't look like, and so their navy's taking a big hit. And here's the thing. I don't know it. American boots on the ground to me is not necessary. What's necessary is to arm the Persian people, the Christian Zoroastrian majority, and let them go after these guys, because they have devastated their government. They've devastated the IRGC. Hi, Steve. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So
we don't want to start a civil war.
No, I can hear
we don't
you.
want a civil war to rage.
That's the thing. So I want to propose this out there, Blake. In lieu of sending American troops into Iran, which I would prefer not to do, to finish off the IRGC, I would like to, and I've been saying this for weeks, I'd like to just send them guns. The problem, of course, is you're concerned that some of the guns and ammo are going to fall into the hands of the bad guys. Or the other option then is, you got the Kurds coming down from the north. So I don't know. Would you accept arming the Christian Zoroastrian resistance groups in Iran with American weapons, fly them in there, drop them in crates, make arrangements? Would that be okay with you? Or would that be an escalation you wouldn't be comfortable with?
I mean, I like the idea in theory. I just don't know. Like I said, the military would come in, grab them. I don't know if these people, it's not like Israeli or Switzerland where the citizens are, competent with firearms. So they get one, they know how to use it, and they can deliver. I think it could get pretty sloppy there, depending on their training. So I don't know. That could open up some problems, especially if the military just swoops in and takes them.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to get Steve involved here while we've got him. But here's the thing, the trouble in Iraq that went on for 20 some years was funded by the Iranians. And now if the Iranians are out of the picture, it's not like the Iraqis are going to come to their rescue. Maybe the Pakistanis are going to come in and give them and fund, an insurrection or partisan operations there. I don't know. But I think the best thing to do is, not send American troops in unless it's like 1 week, go in, kill all the Revolutionary Guard guys, bulldoze all the mosques, and say, here's your country back, here's your guns, have fun. That's a possibility, but you've got the issue that Steve brought up last week, and Lee Harris brings it up here, is I think the Kurds are waiting for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Guard. What does the C stand for, Brooks? Corps Guard to become weak enough, and maybe they'll sweep in and take over. Not sure that's a good idea either. Steve, would you like to see us, do you think at this point, now that we've started, should we get more involved by supplying arms and maybe even having to send, leading to our own troops going in? Or should we just keep it a complete distance and just say, you give us a target where the bad guys are, we'll bomb them, and that's as far as we're going to go? What should be our next move?
Well, I think that, my thing is I don't want the Kurds being armed. They're Muslims. Muslims are Muslims. They do the same atrocities to women that the other Muslims do. They're no better than any other Islamic group. They're terrorists as far as I'm concerned. The opportunity to take over the country, they're going to do so. Secondly, but arm the civilian population, give them. It doesn't take anything to train them how to use them. In fact, most of them, when they go to school, they know exactly how to use them.
Yeah, I don't think the Islamic regime trained the Christians and the Zoroastrians to use guns. I just really don't think they did. But yeah, Brooks.
Well, the thing about putting a gun in someone's hand and then telling them to aim it at another human being, it changes them. And what I would like to see, honestly, my heart tells me, I would like to see the women of Persia and the people of Iran not be warlike, because they're really not a warlike people. They need to be kept away from that. So if we have to go in and be policemen and round all these guys up and say, you're not doing this to your people anymore, maybe we have to do that. But now there are people in Iran that do support the mullahs.
An unarmed society is a slave society.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, but I just don't want to see a civil war rage on for 20 years between.
Well, no, I mean
these
that's
factions.
what
I mean, the Europeans that were here in the United States were not warlike until the British put them under their thumb, and then they became warlike. If you're not willing to defend your country, if you're not willing to go to the ends of the earth to defend what you have, then you don't deserve a country.
right.
If they're not willing to
Straight
pick
up.
up a gun and use it to free themselves, then they don't deserve a country.
Well, here's the thing: the region is originally Persia. It's Caucasian. It's Christian and Zoroastrian. It's not Islamic. The Arab Islamists are invaders into this country that
Right.
came from other places and then took over because of the CIA. And I had an earlier, the U.S. owes Iran their freedom, after all. Thanks to Jimmy Carter and the CIA, I will point out. Their people have been horrifically suppressed for 47 years. And I would again send you to the Promethean Action YouTube channel and watch some of the videos about this history. Because look, I think what you're looking at here again is you're looking at the Bank of London versus the world versus the United States.
Mhm.
And I do think this is a really important fight, one that we should be able to win without a lot of loss of life on any side, I would think. But it the question is now, is it going to go on longer? And if it goes on longer, how much should we be willing to commit? Steve, you kind of said, give them training, give them guns, give them ammo.
So you're saying that they should not take part in freeing their country and keeping it free by being an armed nation. You're saying that we should go in, police them, let them run around throwing flowers. I mean, that's just stupid.
No,
that's absolutely ignorant.
That's not what I'm saying. They have to lead it, but we need to give them the weapons, and that's the thing we've never done, is given them.
And I'm all for it. I'm all for arming the general citizenry. If you want your country to be free and it's being taken over by tyrants, there's only one way to do it. You have to get off your ass. You have to take up arms, and you have to take over your own country. You can't leave it up to somebody else, because if you do, then what happens is you become a puppet to whoever bailed you out. Like I said, we can provide close air support. We got weapons coming out of our nostrils. We can supply them with guns and ammo, all they need, but they need to be the ones to retake their own country.
All right. I agree with that. One of the things that happened because of this is that over the week, since the bombing began, the Iranians tried to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is where a lot of oil comes from. Now, it does not come to the United States, but it goes to European countries and other countries, and China as well, out of the Straits of Hormuz. So the Iranians tried to close them, and we sank all their ships. But then Lloyd's of London, a wholly owned subsidiary, just like David Icke, of the Bank of London, refused to insure any ships going through the strait in an attempt to help the Iranians stop the shipment of oil and spike the oil prices. So Trump then, last week, we talked about this last week, he said, okay, great, we'll insure any boat going through. We'll do it. U.S. government will take care of it. So we have this brinksmanship going on, but it nevertheless spiked the price of oil. It got up to, I don't know, 120, 118, 110, something like that.
Mhm.
And then it collapsed, and now it's spiking back up to 86, 67. But I saw all these posts. Oh, $120 oil is not sustainable. The entire economy will collapse. Well, I'm glad it was only up there for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, and then it went back down again, you dipshits. It's like these Trump haters will do anything. So that happened to the price of oil, and then Trump was asked about it at another press briefing. This is the press briefing in Doral, and he talked about what the U.S. is willing to do about this.
We continue Operation Epic Fury. We're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We continue.
Okay, so that's basically what he said about this. So it looks like, lines are being drawn in the sand, but they're not lines being drawn in the sand with the Iranian government. Brooks, it's lines being drawn in the sand with the Bank of London, it would appear to me, which I think is really exciting because, that sort of confirms all my suspicions about who really runs the world.
That's exactly right. And the interesting thing is China buys the bulk of the oil from Iran. So if the Straits of Hormuz are shut down, the only worst nation that it affects is China. Mm-hmm. So Lloyd's of London pulls its covers on the ships. The ships say, okay, we're going at anchor. We're not going to sail through there without insurance. Trump steps forward and says, I'll insure the boats and I'll make sure our ships protect you on the way. So the price of oil drops again. The price of oil flows again to China. And now who's in control of the flow of oil to China? But Trump. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I concur with that. I mean, Blake, this puts Donald Trump in charge of deciding whether or not China gets their oil, because we don't use that oil.
And there's a big meeting coming up.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think about? I mean, I guess the question I wanted to get to is, do you guys think there's a plan? Or do you think this is all just, we're going to bomb these guys because it's time to bomb them, or for whatever, we can't let them have nuclear weapons. And now we're into all these other complications that are just going to escalate things. What do you think? You think there's a plan, Blake? And if the plan is to control the oil flow to China and bring them to their knees, is that such a bad plan? And do you think that's possibly really what's going on?
It could be, and that's what I hope for. That's the best case scenario. This is 5D chess, whatever, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and everything's falling into place. Yeah. This was the plan all along, and everything's great. I'm a little worried that there's potentially some, miscalculations, and that we should not have jumped into this. But I will try to support Trump as much as I can. I'm not totally sour on it, but if this is prolonged and there's boots on the ground and this causes economic devastation, not just to China, but there's so many other people who rely on that, including our allies in the Gulf there. So that could be an issue. So let's hope that Trump.
Yeah, we don't want Iraq War 2.0 where we just, and I mean, again, that was all planned by the banksters to go on for years and years and years and years because they're making money hand over fist on it. Okay, Steve, you're a soldier, a former soldier, but I mean,
I was a Marine. Don't call me a soldier.
Yeah.
You're a Marine. What do you think about? What do you think about this? Do you think there's a plan, or do you think that they're just they started this thing and now they're sort of trying to stamp out brush fires everywhere?
Well, I think they started it and they're just trying to stamp out brush fire. There's no clear, concise plan to get this over and done with quickly. If there was, they would be bringing in aircraft, arming the citizen population. There would be he says, oh, if you interfere with the oil, with us getting oil from your ports, we're going to hit you from the perspective that you'll never recover from it. Well, they should be doing that now. If you want to take over a regime, you crush them like a bug, you kill them, you squash them, you get rid of all of their infrastructure so they've got nothing to go back to, nothing to use against you, and then you move on. So this game plan of, we won't strike here, we won't strike there unless you start, interfering or disrupting the flow of oil. I mean, that's ridiculous. You go into a situation like this to win, period.
Yeah. I think it's possible there's a bigger plan here, but we shall see. I want to play something else. Of course,
well, there's no shortage of oil. We've got oil flowing into this country like crazy, especially now that we've got Venezuela. So all of these price hikes have nothing to do with the unpleasantness that's going on with the Middle East.
Thank you for that perfect segue to Representative Tim Burchett. And let's hear what he has to say about the price of oil going up at the pump.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett just filled up the dually with diesel yesterday. I decided to do that instead of sending my daughter to school next year. But they're ripping us off. Diesel is like the second cut they take off it when it comes out of the ground. I think it goes kerosene and diesel and then gasoline, and diesel is the most expensive. And I'm sure they can make they'll bring out the economic experts, to cover themselves on that. Another thing that really ticks me off about it is that they've when the price of oil, like they say, well, it's this whatever happens overseas is causing this to happen. But then when you go to the hardware store or the auto parts store and you buy a quart of oil, guess what? The price hasn't gone up. The price of the gasoline in the tank is going up, and that's gasoline that is probably months from it was in the ground, and then it was converted into gasoline at a refinery. So the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's greed, and eventually we're going to come to a point in technology, say turning coal into oil and gasoline, as the Germans did during the Second World War. But guess what? The technology hasn't advanced since then. It's still cheaper just to get oil out of the ground than to convert coal, which we have a lot of. And how much oil does America get from Iran? Zero. That's how much. This is a scam, and these oil companies, shame on them. They're using this opportunity to make record profits once again.
Okay, that is all true. And as the poster put up, basically he said, hey, he filled it up. The price of gas is a scam. America buys zero oil from Iran. The gas in your tank right now was bought weeks ago at the old price. The oil is already in the pipeline. They raise your price anyway, and prices go up like a rocket. And I think he says at the end, down like a parachute. And as Lee Harris says, funny how when the price collapses, we don't see the immediate effect of that at the pump. So I guess I want to start with you, Steve. What the hell should happen to the people who run these oil companies for doing this bullshit? I think some of them need to go to prison to put a stop to this stuff, don't you?
Well, I would agree. The big problem is that the American citizens have been ripped off by corporate America and more by their own government, with their tax dollars, stealing their tax, using their tax dollars for things that no American, or at least most Americans, wouldn't agree with. And so people are being ripped off, and they just sit back and they do nothing. The best thing that could happen is if we as American citizens on strike for about 3 days, didn't buy any oil or gas, didn't buy any groceries, didn't buy anything, it would send a clear message to the U.S. government as well as all of these corporations that we're in control. They're not, but people, they want immediate gratification. They'll never do it. But other countries have done it and been very successful when they're being ripped off. But American citizens, I guess they just like being ripped off. I don't know.
Yeah, and please, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, Rumble Rant, and Super Chat. You can do that and help the show. I got to pay these guys gift cards for their birthdays and for Christmas. Like out here. Brooks, what are your thoughts on this?
Again, he's making it up. He's low on booze. He drinks it up. He drinks every bit of it up.
This is actually vodka in a water bottle. Let me just tell you.
Well, I started something years ago called the alphabetical boycott. The alphabetical boycott
goes out.
Steve's yelling at us. Hang on.
Where he goes out on the town and he's got women pouring bottles.
Yeah, I got those Israeli women. Yeah, that's for sure. I wish. Yeah, these girls right here. Yeah, that's it.
He's sitting there. The piano guy's playing. He's got women pouring him bottles of wine into his glass. Give him little hors d'oeuvres.
There you go. Those Israeli girls. Got to save the Israelis. All right. Brooks, back to you.
I think Steve's right. The American people are in charge of the price of oil. If we decided to boycott the oil companies, we don't have to change anything we're doing. All we have to do is shop where we want to shop. So if you say, okay, all the gas stations that start with the letter A, we are not going to shop at you for a month. We're going to buy our gas somewhere else. BP, QT, Circle K, but we're not buying from any gas stations with the letter A. We're not getting any pop. We're not getting any soda. We're not getting any candy bars, and we're not buying any gas. We're just going to go buy somewhere else. And then the next month we go to BP and we boycott them. And the next month we go to Chevron. And by the time we get to the middle of the alphabet, well, actually way before that, they're going to bend and they're going to break. We're the ones that set the price of gas by our demand.
Yeah. Blake, what are your thoughts on this? I do think it's way past time that CEOs of various companies, including social media companies, need to spend some time in jail to contemplate their life choices. And this, again, as Burchett points out, this is ridiculous. There's no reason why the gas price in America should be higher because of what's going on in Iran. There's no connection whatsoever. And shouldn't this be criminal? I mean, should we maybe have some criminal statutes about this?
Yeah, absolutely. They should definitely make an example out of some of these people. And I'm glad he made that video because he outlined it all. We don't get any of it. So it's fake gouging. And they were all in on it. And they're screwing all of us at a time of war so that they can make personal profits. It's insane. So, yeah, I'm down to take a few of them down.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. All right. Iran is taking up all of our thoughts right now. We had Venezuela. That's resolved.
I just have one quick comment. Places like Florida have state laws against price gouging. Mm-hmm. Since the federal government is doing nothing, states like Florida should go after the oil companies for price gouging, just like they do during hurricanes and that type of thing.
Yeah.
They should, cut them off at the knees and put warrants out for their arrest. If the government isn't going to do anything, the states that have these laws should enact them immediately.
All right. Let's finish with Iran. Let's go around the horn. Start with you, Brooks. Is the Iran war over in essence? Does the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, do the mullahs and ayatollahs, do they surrender in a week, a month, or not for at least another year? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think unconditional surrender. The words are already out there. They're already resonating. They're lying every way they can to try to stay alive. I think it's going to be over before the end of March, and the unconditional surrender will be in. The real question is, who's around to surrender?
Good.
There's nobody around to surrender. Just start the new government.
Yep. Steve, what do you think? Is the war? Does Iran surrender in a week, a month, or a year or longer?
I think it's going to be minimum 6 months, 6 to 8 months, maybe a year.
Okay. Blake, what do you think
Unless we
is?
go in and make some decisive strikes.
Yeah. Blake, what do you think? And I don't know that we're prepared to do that right now. Blake, what do you think? Do you think this Iranian thing? Do you think they surrender in a week, a month, or more like a year?
I think it could be a year or more. I think these are fundamentalist fanatics, and they're angry, and I think they're not going to give in, especially for like an unconditional surrender. I'm also worried just with the people that Trump has. I wanted to have like MAGA people running everything and a new version. Instead, we've got like the never Trumper neocons that are surrounding Trump. So it's like Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin and Bibi Netanyahu, Miriam Adelson, Lucky Howard Lutnick. I don't trust any of these people, and they want to keep the war going. That's what they've known. These are all Bush era people.
That's how they make their money, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right. I'm going to say Iran surrenders in a week. This time next Tuesday, they have surrendered. I hope I'm right, and you guys are wrong, but I'm not sure I am. All right.
Yeah.
The question then is, what happens after Iran? Well, Donald Trump has some ideas about that. Roland, thank you, man. $40 in Washington since you were Dean, man. That's a name you don't want to bring up around here. But thank you, Roland. I appreciate that very much. Geez, I got $55 here. That's enough for me to buy one of you guys a gift card for Christmas and put $5 in my own pocket. All right. Trump has an idea where the next pivot is, and it appears to be Cuba.
Hearing about Cuba, Cuba's a disaster. But I've been hearing so much about Cuba. But Cuba is in its last moments of life, as it was. It'll have a great new life, but it's in its last moments of life the way it is. And but our focus right now is on Iran, and we'll do that. I would say, what will you do? Take about 2 days off, Marco? No, he won't. Maybe an hour. He'll take 1 hour off, and then he'll finish up a deal on Cuba. That'll be an easy one. But it'll be the entire region that we're doing that. Many of you have come today, and they say, I hope you can take care of Cuba because you've had problems with Cuba, right? You mentioned. I've been hearing guys.
So he's right in the sense that Cuba has been a problem for, 60 years since the Kennedy administration, since the CIA installed the Castro regime. They didn't allow it or blow it. They installed the motherfucker for their banker buddies who were financing the CIA. At least that's my opinion. So what do you think? I mean, it sounds like, Blake, they're negotiating a deal for the Cuban government, the commie government, to give up. Cuba is, by all accounts, I've sailed past it on a cruise ship, but it's a beautiful place, beautiful people, beautiful land, incredible cigars. It should be one of the sugar cane, the volcanic soil. It should be one of the richest countries on earth with the tourism and everything else. And it's been dirt poor for 5 or 6 generations. What do you think? Do you think we get a deal with Cuba, or are we going to have to do the same thing we're doing in Iran? Personally, just to throw it out there, I think without, you take down Iran, who's going to support Cuba after that? I don't think the Russians can do it from halfway across the world. But what do you think? Do you think it's promising? And do you want to try to do something in Cuba and get rid of the commies, or do you want to just stop with all this?
I think, Cuba is a worthy goal. The people would greet us as liberators. I think people are saying, yeah, it's time to free Cuba. That was like a huge, like a touristy destination. It's close to Florida. That's where, people would go back in the day. Like, hey, let's go, party in Cuba. They could take a ferry or boat, whatever, go party there for a few days. Yeah, it'd be a great tourist destination. It's a shame that those people have lived under, total tyranny for this long. So, yeah, I don't know the logistics of it, but I mean, it's so close by. You would think it's right there. It's a win-win for everybody except for the tyrannical government there.
Yeah, I do think if Iran falls in short order, Brooks, Cuba won't put up much of a fight. But is that Pollyanna thinking on my part, or what do you think?
No, not really. I mean, Cuba is a perfect example why communism does not work. And there are a lot of Cuban nationals that live in Florida who are willing to go back and rebuild the country, as long as you get rid of the communist military regime. Cuba needs to be like the Singapore of the South. They have it all. They have it all. All they need to do is get rid of their communist leadership, and I think they're about ready to do that.
Okay, Steve, what about you? Are you in favor? I mean, if we can just make a deal with Cuba to have the government just leave and say, okay, you guys can go anywhere you want, but you're leaving Cuba forever, and we're bringing in a democratic government. If we can do that, I'm sure everybody's in agreement with that. But would you support the same kind of military action as Venezuela and Iran in Cuba in the next 3 months after we get done with Iran, let's say?
No, I think Steve froze.
Well, my feeling on it is that, if we're gonna commit to going to war with Cuba, we can overtake that country literally in a matter of hours with boots on the ground. Yeah, we're going to lose a few servicemen, but the reality is, if we're going to go in, screw all this playing around, striking this, striking that, go in, strike all of their key points, send the troops, clean them up, mop them up, kick them out, and start all over again. Come over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not getting. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Okay. Well, all right.
Hey.
So this is not working tonight, guys. I think we're just gonna
just let the boots on the ground come from Florida. Let it be the Cuban nationals.
You don't even need that. We don't even need that. We have a base in Cuba right now, Guantanamo. We could just send everything to the base and just cross the fence and take over from there. So it does seem like it would be an easier thing militarily. But let's not kid ourselves, because then the next cleanup is going to be Mexico. So let me finish tonight with one question. Do you guys think that there is a metaphysical possibility that at the end of 2026, on New Year's Eve, that the Islamist government of Iran is gone, that the communist government of Cuba is gone, and that the narco cartel government of Mexico is gone, and these people are all freed? Is that a possibility in your mind, TV's Blake Wally?
I would say of all of them, Cuba's the only one I can see, just because it's a small country. I mean, the cartels are extremely powerful in Mexico, and Iran is halfway across the world. Logistically, that's tough. And if we boots on the ground, that country is built like a fortress with the territory. That just seems like an absolute disaster. So I hope we don't get involved too much more than we have to.
Yeah. Brooks, what say you? Do you think that at the end of the year we can have a free Iran, a free Cuba, and a free Mexico? What do you think?
I think it is possible, because remember, we just put together the Shield of Americas. So, and Kristi Noem has now become an agent of Shield. And if you read the manifesto that they're talking about, they're not talking about diplomacy. They're talking about putting all their militaries together and militarily going after the cartels. There's no way they can stand up against that kind of firepower. The only one they didn't sign on is Mexico. And I think Special Forces are already in Mexico, and they're working to take apart the fentanyl networks.
Yeah, and we can hopefully do that, and maybe we can free all of the child brides from
Iran. The bottom line is that we're addicted to the drugs, yes, but the banks are addicted to the money. And that goes all the way up to the top of the Democrat Party.
I'd hate to ruin the Romney family business, but actually, no, I wouldn't. Hilarious. It would be fucking hilarious. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you for being here. All foreign policy this week. No real domestic issues to talk about. No, ICE has fallen off the radar. So everybody stay toxic. Everybody stay masculine. And God, I don't know if I can find a video more offensive than tonight's opening video, but I'm going to work on it. All right. If the Hiles come to your town, I'd say go see them because they seem like an exciting Hitler, Himmler, Goebbels, and Goering. Wow.
I want to see The Warning.
The Warning. Okay. All right. Well. All right, guys. It just doesn't compare to the Goo Goo Dolls. All right. Control Alt Deport. Let's keep that going. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'm back tomorrow with Jen on Tell the Truth Wednesday. So have a great day. Love you. Bye-bye and stay